Positive note about the economy, half of the Fortune 500 started in a recession. So, hey, we got a shot, entrepreneurs. I appreciate my predecessor's great presentation. I am not here to talk about government responsibility, just for anyone who's tempted. Government responsibility, I know you may feel like is an oxymoron, and I tend to agree. I'm not here to talk about the viability or the wisdom of exercises like creating tree kill projects like this every year when we can go get all this online. What I am here to talk about is what corporate social responsibility is. Corporate responsibility, citizenship, a form of corporate self-regulation integrated into a business model. And why should you care? Because you have to start early to build a track record with corporate responsibility. It is the three-legged stool of sustainability, the economy, social, the equity, environment. It's also called the triple bottom line, or profit, people, planet. And in the case of balancing the force, I believe this is a huge issue that historically we've had things way out of balance. And a couple of examples are the tobacco industry. Totally out of touch with reality. Tobacco is not addictive. On the other hand, the environmental extremists and even terrorists are your whale wars people. Maybe, I hate it. Sorry if you like Greenpeace, but I think they're kind of on the edge there. So we want to avoid extremes in corporate responsibility. Fact is that most people will do business with a company that they trust, and they think it's corporately responsible now. And that is an increasing trend. 80% of the world's largest companies now have a corporate responsibility plan. And that's moving downstream from there. ISO 26000 just coming out this year is a new standard for what those reports ought to include every year. Green is just a subset of corporate responsibility. So is community service, transparency, business ethics, social awareness and education, using Ken as your CEFO, those sorts of things. And a good example of a company that is forcing downstream the corporate responsibility is Walmart, that is pressing their suppliers to adopt the practices. So if you're downstream from a large company, you can see it coming, especially if it's international. Our first rule for customers is to first be good and then talk about being good. And that starts from when you're a startup, not when you're ready to do a press release. Hypocrisy and insincerity and corporate responsibility are sniffed out very quickly on the internet. US Synthetic is a good local example of a company that's had a great reputation for constant innovation and service and quality in synthetic diamonds, but they also have a decade of doing good internationally through their Yehu microfinance program and through other philanthropic efforts in Kenya. Louis Pope just retired. We honored him last year or the year before, and he actually retired to the coast of Kenya, where he's continuing his work for the Kenyan people. Social media, which we talked about today, and bless you, those that have talked about that. I love Jen's words especially. Social media and corporate social responsibility go like a duck in water. And why? Because Gen Y and those that are using them the most are the most socially conscious people on the planet Earth, and they're paying attention to what companies are doing. And it can make profit too. There's a three-legged stool of social responsibility. One of those is profit. We need to make a profit in this capitalist economy. If you're doing business internationally, the trend is already there for social responsibility. That has really been adopted by the majority. In the United States, we're a little slow to catch up, but it is catching up. If you're doing business internationally, you should pay attention to that. Here's some of the areas that folks say we should be reporting on for corporate social responsibility. It's a voluntary thing, so those reports vary dramatically. However, ISO 26000 standards expand that list a little bit longer, and the GRI standards are a little bit more focused on the three-legged stool, the people, profit, planets, as a reporting standard. So what are the industries that are actually hiring corporate responsibility people? You can see some of these, some of them are amazing to me. Finance and insurance, well, they need corporate responsibility, don't they? But some of the more irresponsible ones are not so much of a surprise. Media, entertainment, travel and entertainment, but environmental is down there, which surprised me. They still need to get on board with that. So where is corporate responsibility going? If you're small, start early. Be good, then talk about being good. Build a track record. Take care of your track record and build a story over time that you'll be proud to display in your corporate social responsibility report card. You don't have to be huge. You can start small and let your plan and your report grow with the company.
John Pilmer.